Well, if it's good enough for Jennifer Coolidge, it's good enough for me. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Makeup Maria from Miami, and I love luxury makeup. But this video is not about that. The thing is, I've often tried drugstore or affordable products, and though I know for a fact that many of them are as good, if not better, than luxury products, I still often go back to the luxury products and neglect my affordable products because I don't know, I like the packaging, I like something about the formula, I don't know, they're my little treasures, my luxury products. But I started to focus on vocally pro-choice beauty brands and found out that e.l.f. was one of them. So, oh, by the way, if that's not for you, feel free and leave. No harm, no foul, as Teresa's dead would say. And I was influenced by Trixie Mattel, who did a review of e.l.f. products, and she seemed to like a lot of them. So I decided to take the plunge. I ordered a bunch of stuff from Ulta, and by the way, shout out to Ulta who sent over the stuff right away in perfect condition. So that was exciting. I did some research on e.l.f. and I found out that e.l.f. is an acronym. I had no idea. Eyes, lip, face. Who knew? They're an American beauty brand. The makeup is made in China. But since the brand does not sell physical stores in China, they are able to manufacture there without being impacted by any of the animal testing laws that exist in China. They are cruelty-free and vegan, and they support social justice movements, providing resource pages for Black Lives Matter and Stop AAPI Hate, which is Asian American Pacific Islander. Okay, before I start talking about the products, I wanted to mention that hopefully you got a chance to see Jennifer Coolidge do an e.l.f. commercial during the Super Bowl halftime, and it was such a joy to see her. She is the queen. I love her. I think she's amazing. Let's talk about the products. Editing Maria here. I'm going to breeze through the products and tell you my first impression, and then you'll be able to see the application using high definition, up close and personal, with my son filming. Stay tuned. First product was the brow lift, the clear brow lift, and it was what I used today. By the way, my whole face is, well, most of my face is e.l.f. products. So the brow lift was the one that got me started. It was very lifting. It gives your brows the laminated look, even though my brows are starting to get pretty sparse. I still think that it did a nice job, so kudos to that. I also purchased the luminous putty bronzer in Day Trip, and it's a nice light brown, and it worked quite well. It did the chiseled chin to help with the saggy neck. So I like it. It's first impression. I don't know if it's going to last, but I used it with the brush that was recommended, and I like it very much. It's very soft. The e.l.f. brushes are also very popular. I also used the putty blush in Turks and Caicos, and this is gorgeous. I'm very excited about that. It's a nice, soft blush and a really beautiful color for me, for my complexion. I think if your skin color is deeper, this probably won't be dark enough for you, but it's definitely more of a natural blush. It was easy to put on. I just put it on with my fingers, and I like it very much, so recommend that. I also used the camo concealer that everybody loves, the hydrating camo concealer with a satin finish. This is a little too yellow for me, but it was okay for spot concealing, so that was nice. And what everybody raves about is the bite-size eyeshadow in Truffles. It's a really, really affordable product. This is it's $3. I mean, geez. I can't imagine being a teenager today and having $3 eyeshadows this good. How fun. They're so lucky in that sense. Good for them. I also purchased this liquid metallic eyeshadow in Moon, and this is really beautiful. And I think that it worked well. I really can't tell you if it compares to the more expensive liquid eyeshadows. Mostly what I have is Lisa Eldridge, but I don't know. I thought it went on really well. It blended well. I put it over my powder eyeshadow. So for that, I can tell you that it worked. Last but not least, I purchased the glossy lip stain in fiery red, which is what I'm wearing, a little blotted out, which is just nice because you can wear it as a stain, or you can wear it as, you know, full opacity, or you can blot it out a little bit. I thought that this was a nice product. Packaging is actually quite chic. I'm very excited about that. The only thing that I think that really didn't work out for me is the actual brush that you use for the brow lift. It's called the brow lift applicator. I think that you can just use any brush. I don't think this little palette is necessary. At least it wasn't for me. If you have very untamable eyebrows and you really need to flatten it out to get that laminated look, then maybe this is something that works for you. I don't really need it. I don't have that many brows left, so for what it's worth, it's not something I would repurchase. But if you have bushy brows and you want to really get that laminated look, then maybe that'll work for you. But it's a wonderful quality, though. It's very nice quality considering how much it costs. The whole thing cost maybe less than $50, all of this. So the eyeshadows were $3, the concealer was $7, the putty blush was $7, the luminous bronzer was $7, the glossy lip stain was $6, the eyeshadow was $6, the brow lift applicator was $4, and the putty bronzer brush was $4. So I think that I think it's great. I think most of the products are really good. I do know that if you have a concern with talc, I know some of their products have talc, so be on the lookout for that. Do your research, read the ingredients list. But for the most part, I think that they're very lovely, and I'm very happy with the results. We're going out today for my birthday, so yay. Okay, so please forgive me. My allergies have been making me crazy, so my voice is a little bit stuffy. Anyway, there's the e.l.f. product, and my son giving me direction on how to best do the application so you can see what's going on. You can see very much that even though I have sparse brows, the product is helpful in making the most out of the sparse brows that I have. And so there's the application. Then I'm going to do it. It's not a fair comparison to compare it to the other brow because my other brow is a little wonky. Someone waxed my eyebrows and kind of destroyed them. Do not let anyone wax your eyebrows. And the hair never grew back close to my nose. So it is what it is. It does still help. I think that the product is excellent. I was very happy the first time I tried it. Here's the paddle applicator, which my first impression was I don't need it. Then I changed my mind about it because I really do think that, laying the hairs down make the most, again, of the hairs that you have. And so not only do they stick, so you have that laminated effect, but it also looks more defined, which I like. Here's the eyeshadow application, and again, I'm getting tips from my son on how to do this without covering up what I'm doing, and so I'm learning. Sorry about my bloodshot eyes. I mean, my eyes are very sensitive, so it's very difficult. I was gonna stop and put eye drops in, but we had already gone too far. So there wasn't enough product on the brush, as you can see, and then I went back and put on too much product, as you can see. Boom. But trust the process. It works. It blends well, and you'll see that it all comes together in the end. So I'm going in with the darker brown on the corner, which is kind of the staple for me. I mean, you kind of just have to know the shape of your eyes and what works for you. And so this is what works for me. To make my eyes less round and more elongated, if that makes any sense. That's how I contour my eyes. That's the shimmer that at first I was not that happy with the gray color. I absolutely love gray, but I didn't know if that would work. But it does, because it does bring some sparkle and some coolness to a warm palette. But I think that if I had to do it over again, I would use a setting spray or something just to get more impact from the shimmer color. Otherwise, I think it is actually quite pretty. Here I am putting on the concealer, which was way too yellow for me. So basically I did What I usually do with concealer is conceal my red nose, especially now with the allergies going crazy. And normally it does. That's where my makeup breaks up. So a little concealer goes a long way. I also put a little concealer on the corners of my mouth because lots of times lipstick will, spread into the fine lines on my face, having a mature face. And so that seems to help with a little bit of powder too. I didn't powder my face for this just because I wanted to get as true an application as possible. Here I am trying to cover something, a blemish on my forehead, but I should have used an applicator to get the more precise coverage, but again, I was lazy and I just kept patting it and trying to cover it that way. It does work though. The concealer is nice. It's a very nice product. The color isn't right for me. Here's the putty bronzer. I think it's a lovely product. And here's the brush that is recommended. I think that it's so not luminous. That's the only thing that I would say. It feels like a matte bronzer, but it doesn't matter. It still goes on easily, has a really nice color. For me, it works. There I go, contouring my neck. This is what another thing you can do if you have mature face is use that contour to define your chin a little bit. So I like the product a lot. It goes on really well, it blends, and with my skin, I've got pores, large pores. I mean, everybody has pores. I have large pores, I have scarring, and I have age spots. So if it goes well on my skin, then it's probably gonna apply nicely to younger skin. So I definitely think that it's a nice product. I was very happy with it. It's a great color for me too. Here's the putty blush. It's also a very popular product. It's a really nice color for me. And this is when I kind of forgot that I was on camera and I was chatting with my son, telling him how most of my life I didn't wear blush because I have I said ruddy complexion, totally confusing him. I meant ruddy, which means, reddish. And so because I had kind of red patches on my face and acne, I didn't wear a lot of blush. And now I don't have acne, I just have age spots and wrinkles. But I was really kind of enjoying putting this product on. Again, it goes on smoothly, it blends well, it's a nice color. So I forgot about the camera and I started going to town. I took off my glasses, as you'll see in a minute, and I start doing the new type of application with blush that everybody does now, which is putting that blush higher up on the face. It lifts your face and it looks more natural, looks more fresh, and dotting a little bit on your nose and on your cheeks, kind of like where the sun would hit you. So I got excited, honestly. I was having fun with the application, and it's a nice product. Very happy about it. And I'm chatting away. chatting away with my son. Here's the liquid eyeshadow, and it's a lovely color, and I like it. It's nice. I have a lot of higher end liquid eyeshadows, and this one was comparable for sure. I don't know, I can't attest to the wear, if it's going to last a long time, but it did apply nicely, has a nice shine, blended well. It was thin, it wasn't thick, it wasn't gloopy, it wasn't sparkly. It has a nice shine. It's got that wet look that everybody wants. So that was nice. I enjoyed that. We were chatting this time about adding a liquid eyeshadow on top of a powder blush. I was explaining to my son that actually works well, obviously depending upon the products, but it was nice. We kind of bonded. It was fun to talk about makeup with my son, so I enjoyed that a lot. Good product. Here I am blending it with my mirror that is a joke. You'll see it in the bloopers later. at the end of the video. Here is the lip gloss. Here I am putting on the first application, putting on a light layer. Like Lisa Eldridge says, it's all about wearing light layers. And then I started chatting with my son about how basically when you put a light layer of lip gloss or lipstick, it's kind of like a stain. So it's like a popsicle. You're eating a popsicle and how your lips look after eating something like a red popsicle, and that's a nice way. So that's one way of using the lip gloss. Then I go in and I put another layer, a more opaque layer, and again, it's a thin formula. It's a nice color. It goes on well. It is definitely comparable to some higher end lip glosses that I have. And so the application again was smooth and easy. And so I'm able to put that second layer on without any issue. And there it goes. So I had to fix my brows a little bit. This is the first time I've ever done my brows on camera because brows are such a problematic thing for me. It's very difficult to do, and I go back and forth with doing really thick brows to very light brows, and I like thick brows, so that's the problem, I guess. But yeah, I needed to go in with this Precisely My Brow pencil, which is a great pencil. I've tried other pencils. I always go back to this one. I don't want it to be too dry. It's a thing most of the time for people with dry skin or mature skin. You just don't want dry products because they're harsh and they're difficult to manipulate. So steer away from those, and you'll see that I think that you'll be a lot happier. It needs to be not dry, but it needs to stick. It needs to be a pencil that stays on your skin, and this Benefit product does. So here I go. There was a little bit of lip gloss missing on that side, so I added more, and I show my son, and he asked me if I like it, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay, because I like orangey lipsticks. And that's when it occurred to me that I could blot it out a little bit, which is a third way to use lip gloss, and I would say the more modern way. When you pat it and you blot it, it actually makes it the border of your lips undefined, so you can actually look like you have bigger lips, and it looks more fresh. It looks more worn in, which is I definitely think is the trend now for makeup, what I've seen online. So it looks better. I think you'll see. I think it looks a lot better. So I'm a lot happier with it there. Okay, so my final thoughts are, I would definitely recommend e.l.f. if you're on a budget and you're looking for affordable makeup products. I think that first impressions, that they went on really well, and I look forward to trying some more products. Let us know in the comments section if you're someone who loves luxury products and you're willing to look into some affordable makeup. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Wear sunscreen, and abortion is healthcare. Peace. By the way, shout out to e.l.f. Stay safe. Talked about being a dolphin. I look like a baby dolphin.